topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Tennessee. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show, where for the last 16 years, soon to be 17, I got to get used to saying 17 years, but we have brought you the finest experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. We have got an incredible show today. We are going to be talking with Dr. Kyle Jones of the Wang Vision Institute. Good morning, Dr. Jones.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, I got to tell you, we were talking before the show. So you have saved me. And I would have never known, if I didn't have a show like this, how important cataract surgery is. Because I was putting my surgery off. It's like, heck, I'll do it a couple of months, next year. No big deal. Until I spoke to your, I guess it was Dr. G, told me, he said, you put those cataracts off, that's like the number one leading thing to blindness. And I went, oh my God. And I called my doctor right away. I said, how soon can I get in? I didn't realize we are so uneducated, Dr. Jones.
Yeah. It's a great point. Cataracts are the number one cause of blindness around the world. And even in this country, in the United States, they're still the number one cause. The thing about cataracts is they're treatable with a very minimally invasive surgery. Other causes of blindness like glaucoma and macular degeneration and things like that are not usually reversible, and the vision loss can be permanent. But cataracts are almost universal. If you live, into your 50s, 60s, 70s and beyond, everybody at some point is going to develop cataract that has some level of visual significance, and surgery can very easily fix cataracts. So it's a great point. Yes.
Unbelievable. Now, do I understand it right? Once you've had the cataract surgery, if you are on subscription or prescription lenses, you no longer have to use those lenses anymore?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of, when we do the cataract surgery, we replace your natural lens with a lens implant to correct your vision. And so some patients may still require reading glasses afterwards. Kind of depends on what lens you elect to do. There's different types of lenses that we have available to us now. Some can help get patients out of glasses completely for distance and up close. Some are more just for distance. We have astigmatism correcting lenses. So it kind of depends. Some patients, depending on their astigmatism levels, may still need to have prescription glasses full-time afterwards. Some may just need reading glasses, or some may not need glasses at all. It just kind of depends on what lens we end up doing.
Well, today we're going to be talking about refractive lens exchange.
Yes.
And how it differs from LASIK or SMILE. So let's start there.
Yeah, so refractive lens exchange is a vision correction procedure very similar to LASIK and SMILE, but it's different in that it's not a laser procedure done on the cornea like SMILE, small incision LASIK and LASIK are. Refractive lens exchange is basically where we replace the natural lens of the eye with a lens implant. So the surgery is identical actually to cataract surgery, but when we use the medical term refractive lens exchange, we're doing the surgery purely to get people out of glasses. It's not done for cataract specifically. The surgery can actually be done at a younger age to help get patients out of glasses. And there's a few, situations where we tend to recommend refractive lens exchange over LASIK and SMILE. Usually if you get into your maybe mid 40s and beyond, we'll start to lean a little bit more towards recommending refractive lens exchange if you're interested in getting out of glasses or contacts instead of SMILE or LASIK, because the effects are going to be more significant and more long lasting with refractive lens exchange.
You know, I've shared with you before, I had LASIK,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to tell you, it was the greatest thing I ever did for my eyes because it was it's such an easy surgery. I mean, it was
Right.
painless
Yeah.
and it doesn't take very long. It's like you can make a difference in my eyesight in such a short time. I was blown away by the LASIK surgery, Dr. Jones.
Yes, that's one of the amazing things about LASIK and SMILE, small incision LASIK as well. The recovery, I mean, is dramatic, rapid, and patients kind of go about normal activities within a day or two, really, after those surgeries. And the interesting thing about refractive lens exchange is it's also pretty similar in terms of recovery. It's LASIK-like in its recovery. It's like I said, a totally different surgery. It's we're using lens implants and things like that, so it's a different surgery completely from LASIK and SMILE, but the recovery is actually pretty similar. It's pretty dramatic and pretty rapid for lens replacement as well.
Well, tell people, first of all, what is the difference between LASIK and SMILE?
Yeah, that's a great question. So LASIK, which everyone's probably heard of, is a laser vision correction procedure where a laser makes a flap in the cornea that we peel back, very thin flap, and then we use a separate laser to correct a prescription, astigmatism and whatnot, place the flap back, and the flap heals very rapidly within about 24 to 48 hours. So that's LASIK. Small incision LASIK is similar. It's a laser procedure that just changes the shape of the cornea to correct prescriptions, but it doesn't create a flap at all. It's all done through a very tiny incision. That's about 2 to 3 millimeters at the top of the cornea. No flap creation at all. And so with SMILE, there's going to be some less dry eye symptoms. It's a little bit less invasive because it's not creating that flap. So there's a little bit less risk involved with having a flap in the cornea, such as having trauma to the eye and disrupting a LASIK flap. SMILE completely obviates all of those risks because it does not create a flap at all. And so in our practice at Lang Vision, in terms of vision correction procedures, probably about 75% of patients are electing to do SMILE instead of traditional LASIK. And we've had excellent outcomes with SMILE, very comparable to LASIK, our outcomes with SMILE. And we were the very first practice in the state of Tennessee to start doing SMILE when it first got FDA approved many years ago. And so we've become kind of a very well-known center for that particular procedure. We do more of it than probably any other practice in the state of Tennessee. And we're one of the top centers in the country for it at this point.
Is there different candidates for LASIK and SMILE?
Yeah, I mean, overall, the candidates are going to be pretty similar. Most patients, when we see them in our clinic, are going to we'll tell them you're basically a candidate for either procedure. You can have LASIK or SMILE, and we'll discuss the advantages of SMILE. And we tend to recommend that if you're otherwise a candidate for either procedure. There are some people that are only going to be a candidate for LASIK, and that's if they have a very tiny prescription. SMILE can't really treat that, or if they have very, very high magnitudes, very high, ultra high magnitudes of astigmatism. SMILE cannot treat that effectively. LASIK is usually going to be better for that. So it just kind of depends on the prescription, but most patients, 95%, are going to be a candidate for both, and we'll just recommend SMILE usually in those cases.
Does insurance, I forgot now, does insurance even cover this?
Yeah, usually elective vision correction procedures, insurance will not cover. Some insurances may give certain reimbursements and certain incentives and whatnot to have vision correction procedures, but in general, they do not cover it. No, these are considered elective, almost like cosmetic procedures, although I would argue they're very functional.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Procedure.
You're right. So now getting back to RLE, which is refractive lens exchange, who's a good candidate for that?
Yeah, that's a good question. So generally, like I said, it kind of depends on the age of the patient. If a patient is starting to get into their maybe mid to late 40s and beyond, something is happening with the eye, an aging phenomenon that's universal. Everybody develops this. You start to lose your near focusing ability. And this is true for everyone. Even if you had perfect vision your entire life, didn't need glasses at all, your entire adult life, once you start to get into your mid to late 40s, you will start to notice your near vision declining. And this is the medical term is presbyopia, but basically it's just where your natural lens of your eye right behind your pupil starts to lose that focusing ability to see things up close. And you just put reading glasses on, like over-the-counter readers, and you can see just fine up close because that brings the focus level in. But we can address that particular problem with refractive lens exchange, because like I said, we're just replacing your natural lens, which has started to become less flexible and lose that focusing power. We can replace it with a lens implant to correct your vision. And as I mentioned earlier, there's certain lens implants. A lot of patients come to us at Weighing Vision because we're a center known for helping people get out of glasses and contacts. They come to us stating that they don't like wearing reading glasses. Maybe they wear contact lenses and now they have to wear readers on top of that because of their age. And they're interested in not wearing reading glasses anymore. And we have lens implants on the market now that are very effective at getting patients out of needing glasses for distance and up close. And so that's going to be the category of patients that are the best candidates for that overall. It's usually based on age. Usually if you're younger than 45, you're not really a good candidate for refractive lens exchange yet because you haven't started to lose that decline in near vision that comes with around middle age and beyond.
So I was told when I went into my ophthalmologist here in Florida that I actually have early cataracts.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, when I look at a light at night, I
Yeah.
think I have the worst. Okay. I know
Yeah.
you know it, but I have. But so if a person has early cataracts, would RLE be a good option for me?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the terminology early cataracts, when we recommend cataract surgery to patients or recommend observing cataracts, it kind of just depends on your level of symptoms. So some of the earliest symptoms that cataract are getting to the point where maybe surgery might be beneficial would be night vision symptoms. So seeing a lot of glare and halos around lights at night, making it a little bit
Yes.
harder to drive at night. That's probably overall the most predominant and earliest symptom that cataracts are getting to the point where surgery might be beneficial to help you see a little bit clearer. It can help dampen that symptom quite dramatically, having cataract surgery. So even though they may appear to be early cataracts, if they're causing you a lot of symptoms in terms of your vision and you've noticed a progressive decline, then I tell most patients that, cataract surgery or lens replacement surgery is a very safe procedure and it can help you see clearer, and it's worth considering if you're bothered by those particular symptoms. But the bottom line is, yes, even if you have early cataracts, you can still have lens replacement to help get you out of glasses or contacts. It's like I mentioned, refractive lens exchange and cataract surgery. The procedure itself is totally identical. They're the exact same thing. It's just one's done really just to get you out of glasses. That's RLE. And then cataract surgery is, of course, done for this aging phenomenon of cataracts that develops as we age. Our lens gets cloudier and cloudier, and we start to see a lot of glare and halos around lights at night and have trouble
Yes.
driving at night. The two procedures are identical. It's just they're done for two different reasons. So if you have even early cataract, you can still potentially be a candidate for maybe cataract surgery or also lens replacement, refractive lens exchange.
I got to tell you, Dr. I am so upset with these health insurance companies. I
Yeah,
think, they might call this an elective
sure.
surgery, but I got to tell you, it, first of all, just imagine driving
Sure.
and I think cataract surgery is so important.
Yes.
I think people shouldn't even be driving at night if they've got cataract problems. And
Yeah.
for insurance companies not to cover this, Dr. Jones, I mean,
Yeah.
they cover eyeglasses.
Sure. Yeah, no, it's a great point. Yeah, I mean, medically necessary cataract surgery, insurances will pay a portion of it. Absolutely. They will pay for cataract surgery. However, and especially here at Weighing Vision, we do a lot of upgraded cataract surgery. We use the
Yes.
latest technology with all of our surgeries, which includes femtosecond laser to increase the safety and the precision of the surgery and automate a lot of the steps of the surgery. If we're doing a premium lens implant, not just the standard lens implant that you still have to wear progressive glasses full time afterwards, I'm talking astigmatism correcting lenses, toric lenses, multifocal lens implants that give distance and up close vision without reading glasses. These are all considered premium lenses that have an extra cost associated with them that insurance, Medicare, and whatnot will not pay for at all. They will just pay for a basic intraocular lens. And so a lot of patients come to us wanting the safest and most precise technology for their surgery and the most upgraded lenses that will give them the clearest vision with the most range that they can possibly get. And so, yes, because of that, that is all out of pocket, unfortunately. And there is insurance will not pay for those particular upgrades with cataract surgery. We can still bill your private insurance or Medicare for a portion of the surgery, but these upgraded aspects of the surgery, they won't pay for. That there will be an extra out-of-pocket charge for. That's correct.
I hope this isn't a dumb question, but is the terminology, I know LASIK is nationwide, but
Sure.
SMILE and RLE,
Mm-hmm.
is every state the same terminology?
Yeah, I mean, pretty
Okay.
much, yeah, probably around the country, each state is using similar terminology. That's correct. Not a lot of places around the country necessarily doing SMILE, for example.
Yes.
Probably I'd say less than 10% of all refractive surgeries done in America are
Wow.
probably going to be SMILE. So it's increasing in frequency as more surgeons are getting comfortable with it and seeing the good results that it produces. They're getting more comfortable offering it to patients. But no, it's not as common as traditional LASIK, even though it has advantages. It's still not as common. And lens replacement, likewise, not every, eye surgeon in America is doing lens replacement because it requires special measurements, special counseling with patients prior. A lot of patients may not feel comfortable using certain lens implants, and they just maybe want to stick to, basic cataract surgery. So refractive lens exchange is not every surgeon's doing that either. So we're kind of special at Wang Vision. We do the entire gamut of vision correction surgeries.
So the bad news now, Dr. Jones, are there potential risk or side effects with RLE?
Yes, that's a great question. Well, with any surgery, there's risks, of course. And luckily, with refractive lens exchange, the risks are very small overall in terms of serious risks. Side effects, certain lens implants, like elects to do the lens implant that gives the distance and up close vision, and into it functions to that full range of vision will cause a at night. So I just
Can you, what? I'm sorry.
wanting to experience after your surgery, then it probably wouldn't be a good the multifocal lens implant because it will cause a little bit of glare and halos around lights at night. Other risks of the surgery, are going to be pretty small. Risk of infection, a small risk of retina issues, like swelling and whatnot of the cornea or retina. These are all small, like less than 1%, very serious risks of surgery overall.
How soon do you notice a difference in your eyesight? Is it right away?
Yeah, with refractive lens exchange, I tell most patients give it a few days. So usually the day of surgery, maybe even the day after, the pupils are still kind of dilated. We use very strong dilation medication for this particular surgery. It lasts maybe up to 48 hours. So the vision can still be a little foggy the next day when we see you in clinic. Totally normal. Give it a few days. The vision will get better each day. And usually within about 5 to 7 days, the vision's pretty good. And it's kind of what you can expect. Yeah.
Because I
Recovery's
noticed with
fast.
with LASIK, Dr. Jones, I walked out and like, whoa, I could notice
Yes.
the difference right away, right after when I
Yeah.
walked out of the office.
Yeah. Yeah. LASIK and SMILE are usually very, very dramatic. And usually the day after surgery, there's just very minimal blurriness. The recovery is very rapid with those procedures, and hence why they have become so popular because the recovery is so fast. That's correct.
T- So, what can a patient expect? can they go back to work right away with RLE?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. It kind of depends on what you do for work. If your job involves mainly computer work and you're kind of maybe working from home, yeah, a lot of patients actually feel fine to maybe go back to work within a day or two after refractive lens exchange. It's like I said, the vision recovery is pretty fast. Things are a little blurry at first, but low impact activities like that, like working on the computer or being on your phone, they're fine. There's no issue there. If your job involves more physical manual labor, maybe being in dusty or dirty, contaminated environments, landscaping, we see patients, that in our clinic, they have a variety of different careers. If it's something that involves a little bit more strenuous activity like that, I would normally recommend taking off a few days from work. I normally say no heavy lifting or bending over and avoiding dust or dirt for the first 7 days after surgery. So it depends on your job, but for some people, it might be beneficial to take up to a week off from work after this procedure.
So I think I asked, when I had my LASIK, I asked the doctor, how long will this last? He said about 10 to 12 years. That's what he told me.
Yeah.
So I used to have to wear reading glasses after LASIK, no more. But Dr. Jones, I had my surgery like 16 years ago, and I still don't need reading glasses. Does that surprise you?
It doesn't surprise me, but you are the minority for sure. Definitely, most patients at some point, yes. If you have your LASIK in your 30s, we're telling patients, listen, in about 10 years, 15 years or so, you're going to start to notice your near vision decline. This is the expectation we set up prior to surgery, and you're just going to need reading glasses to see up close. But some patients, maybe like yourself, that maybe have a little bit of astigmatism still after surgery, that astigmatism helps bring the focus of light perfect for distance. It light a little bit in more, and they might help preserve some of their near vision, and they may not need reading glasses afterwards. Sometimes one eye heals really well for distance and the other eye maybe has some astigmatism, and that eye is actually seeing better up close than far away, and they kind of, with both eyes working together, maybe don't need reading glasses afterwards. But it is the minority of cases. We do see it from time to time, though. It's not super uncommon. Yeah.
Well, I want to end the show by telling you we get so many letters about Wang Institute, just thanking us for your information, and viewership has gone way up, and we're just so appreciative. I know it takes time out of your day, but you and Dr. G, we so appreciate you both.
Oh, no, we appreciate you for letting us come on and talk to your audience about this.
And we got to thank Heather too.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell people how they can, for those who are listening on radio now, how can they reach Wang?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have a website, wangvisioninstitute.com, where there's more information about all of the surgeries and services that we offer. There's links there for scheduling consultations if you're interested. There's also a link on our website for our webinar that we do live, actually, every Tuesday evening, starting around 6:30 or 7 o'clock, and where we, either Dr. G or myself, are actually live on that webinar discussing the different surgeries in a bit more detail. And that webinar, like I said, is every Tuesday evening. Our phone number for our office is 615-321-8881 if you're interested in talking to someone on the phone to schedule an appointment.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. We'll see you next month.
Thank you. Appreciate it. See you
Thanks,
then.
Dr. Jones. It's Dr. Jones, the Wang Vision Institute. That's going to do it for us today. We'll be back again with you next week with more Ask the Experts.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.